All right, let's get right into it. For as long as most of us have been gaming, the industry has been defined by one simple rivalry, right? PlayStation versus Xbox. But that whole battlefield is changing, like right now. The fight isn't about who sells the most boxes under your TV anymore. So that brings us to the big question. Are the console wars actually over? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's way more complicated than that. You see, the war isn't really ending, it's just evolving into something much, much bigger. And it all kicks off with this number, $68.2 billion. That is the insane projected value of the cloud gaming market by 2032. This isn't just some small niche part of the industry, it's the future. And that kind of money is a huge incentive to completely rethink how we get our games. And just to put that into perspective for you, we're talking about an explosion in growth, a nearly eightfold increase in less than a decade. This whole boom is driven by a really simple demand. We all want to play top-tier games anywhere, on any device we own, without having to shell out $500 for a new console every few years. But there's always been this one major villain holding cloud gaming back, a fundamental problem that can absolutely wreck the entire experience. We need to talk about lag. We need to talk about latency. So what even is latency? In the simplest terms, it's that tiny, frustrating delay between you pressing a button on your controller and seeing your character actually jump on the screen. It's that little gap in time that can make a game feel sluggish, unresponsive, and just, well, wrong. And in fast-paced games, it is a massive deal. We are talking about milliseconds here. Any delay over 40 milliseconds, and that is literally less time than it takes to blink your eye, can be the difference between winning a firefight and staring at a game over screen. For esports pros, it's a total career killer. So why does this even happen? Well, in traditional cloud gaming, your controller's signal has to go on this crazy road trip. It travels all the way to some massive centralized data center, maybe hundreds of miles away. The game gets processed there, and then the video has to stream all the way back to your screen. That huge round trip is what creates that frustrating, game-breaking lag. But what if you could just shrink that distance? This brings us to the hero of our story, the technology that's basically designed to slay the latency dragon. Edge computing. The idea behind edge computing is kind of brilliant, and it's super simple. Instead of one giant data center way across the country, imagine having smaller, really powerful mini servers right in your city, or maybe even your neighborhood. By moving all that processing power closer to you, you dramatically shorten that round-trip time. I mean, the difference is just night and day. On the left, you've got the old way, centralized, slow, and that means high latency. But on the right, you see the new way, decentralized, super fast, and delivering that ultra-low latency we've been dreaming of. This is the key. This is what unlocks seamless, responsive cloud gaming that feels just like you're playing on a local console. Okay, so with the technology to solve the lag problem finally here, the entire strategy is shifting. The new console war isn't about selling hardware anymore. Nope, it's about building the most dominant ecosystem. This quote from a Reddit user just hits the nail on the head. If you're just focusing on who sold more Series X or PS5 consoles, you're kind of missing the forest for the trees. Microsoft isn't just trying to sell you a box anymore. They're trying to sell you a service that lives everywhere. And this is their playbook. This came straight from an Xbox executive. They see a future with a unified platform where you can play your games on any device you own. And the really crucial point here is this idea of not being locked to one storefront. They are building a future where your Xbox might actually be a PC made by Asus or a handheld from Lenovo, all of it powered by their software and their services. And Game Pass is the engine that's driving this entire vision. The service is broken up into different tiers, everything from a basic cloud gaming option to an ultimate tier that gives you hundreds of games, sometimes from other publishers entirely. This whole structure is designed to pull you into the Xbox ecosystem at every single level. It's not about that one-time hardware sale anymore. It's about getting that monthly subscription and making sure that wherever you play, you're playing inside Microsoft's world. So, if the future isn't just about a black box in your living room, what does dedicated gaming hardware even look like going forward? Well, things are about to get even more interesting. So what's the next generation of hardware actually going to look like? Well, the most likely path seems to be a hybrid-first approach, kind of like the Nintendo Switch, a powerful handheld that you can also dock to your TV. But there are other possibilities, like a cloud-enhanced box that relies on a massive digital library, or maybe even a console PC hybrid that's more open. The one thing they all have in common? portability, and crowd connectivity are absolutely key. But here it is. Here's the final twist. This quote from an industry CEO suggests that this entire massive battle between Sony and Microsoft, it might just be a sideshow to the real main event. Because when you look at the money, the war may have already been decided. Mobile gaming already accounts for 55% of all gaming revenue. That's more than PC and console combined. And with modern phones now as powerful as last-gen consoles were, that line between a mobile game and a console game is completely blurring away. Which leaves us with one final, kind of provocative thought. As these tech giants are battling for a spot under your TV, have they forgotten about the supercomputer that's already in your pocket? The war isn't coming, it's already here. And the winner might just be the device you're holding right now.